Hey YouTube, Do-It-Yourself Junkie 369 here today, and this video is going to be a real quick review of 511 tactical pants. Specifically the original tactical pant that they sell and then the Taclite Pros, which are very similar and about the cheapest pants that they sell. Normally they're $49.99, but if you buy them on a major holiday like Memorial Day, Veterans Day, 4th of July, possibly Father's Day, you're going to get them for $39.99, and the links for them are below in the description. So some backstory before I get to the pants. Growing up, I always wore blue jeans. I think they were Rustlers, available at any Walmart. And then when I joined the military, I went into the Marine Corps and I was issued very specific pants that are kind of similar to these tactical pants. And these are my Marine Corps issue, and basically they have cargo pockets. They have 6 pockets altogether. You've got the front 2, the rear 2, and then those cargo pockets. And then down on the knee area is 2 layers of fabric, because that's one area when you're doing like a low crawl or even a high crawl, you're wearing out those knees. And on the back, I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's a dual layer of fabric here on the butt, because that's another area that wears out quite a bit. And then they're pretty loose fitting and have a lot of play, and basically you can squat, move around, even do the splits, and the pants are going to accommodate it. Everything on these pants that has an enclosure uses a button type enclosure, and that's important because 1, it's keeping stuff from falling out of your pockets, and 2, it's not making any noise. So very well designed pants for the Marine Corps there. After I got out of the Marine Corps, I went back to college, and at that point I switched back to wearing blue jeans. Instead of Rustlers, I was buying Carhartts, and here's a pair of Carhartts. And basically I wore blue jeans up until the beginning of this year, and that's where I'd been working at my job roughly 6-7 years, and there's quite a few people running around wearing 511 tactical pants, and a group of us, we'd make fun of them on a regular basis, calling them like armchair commando and all kinds of stuff. Like they're trying to be tactical is what we'd say. But then back in January, the very beginning of this year, I was out on the range shooting, and I had to go from standing to kneeling real quick. And when I did that, I actually split the crotch on my blue jeans. And these are the actual jeans. It doesn't look so bad from the front, but when you look at the back, there is a giant hole. And this was a brand new pair of jeans. I had only worn them for about maybe 2 weeks to a month. And I had, at that point, I had several pairs that I had ruined like this. They weren't quite that bad, but they had small holes. And I always thought it was because I rode a motorcycle quite a bit, and I just thought it was me shifting my weight around in the seat causing it to wear out. But those were brand new, had never been on a motorcycle, and they ripped like that. So at that point I reevaluated what I needed to be wearing as far as pants. And I decided to give 511 tactical pants a try, and I went out and bought a set of Taclite Pros. What really sold me was they're supposed to be really lightweight, and they are. They're like 6.2 ounces a yard of fabric. And they're made out of a cotton poly blend that's really lightweight. It has a Teflon coating on it that kind of makes it a little bit waterproof if it's just like water droplets. And also I've taken them out and I've gone hiking and had mud up to my knees, and I'd waded through 2 creeks during the 20-30 mile hike, and at the end the pants had dried out before my boots did. and all the mud just kind of fell off of them. It didn't even stick. And I've also spilled stuff on them. I've gone out and worn them during weed eating and clearing trees, cutting down trees with chainsaw, and they're pretty tough for how light they are. I'm pretty impressed. And then the past couple days, it's been 110, 105 heat index with a real temperature of about 95, 97 and a whole ton of humidity. And even with a t-shirt on, I'm sweating like crazy from the waist up. But unlike my blue jeans, waist down, completely cool and just feels great. So how these differ from the military pants that I just showed you is they still have the 6 pockets. You have front, back pockets, and cargo pockets, but most of them are at least a 7 pocket design. They have this extra one right here, and in their advertisements they show you a cell phone being placed in there. But if you have some sort of smartphone, as you can see, it's not going to fit. If you're going to carry a cell phone in there, it's going to have to be one of these old flip phones, and that fits fine. So maybe they could make this pocket a little bit bigger, but it's not designed for a modern smartphone. It does do pretty good on magazines. Here's a 1911 mag. A Glock. That's a Glock 19 magazine. It fits in there pretty fine. This is great for a spare mag, but as you can see, I have to kind of dig in there weird and bring it out funny. And it's not going to be a fast reload. That's kind of like a, hey, I need to carry a magazine, but I don't have to get to it too fast type carry. And then last here is a Glock 17, and even that fits in there, and that's a full-size Glock magazine. The one drawback between this and the military trousers that I showed you is, as you can hear, the cargo pockets, this pocket, and the pockets in the back are all Velcro. They're kind of noisy, so getting into one of those, maybe if you're like out in a tree stand deer hunting, it might not be the best idea. One thing I do like about them is this back pocket. It starts up here just below the belt, and then it goes down to about mid-thigh, and it's several inches deeper. This is my hand in there, fingers extended, and we're quite a bit past my wrist here. And then it goes from just about the center line of the back of your leg to about the side of your leg in width. And the reason I like that is when you put your wallet in there and you're getting ready to maybe drive a long distance, a lot of times I'll pull my wallet out and set it on the dash or something, and then I'll forget it in the car. But these, I can just shift the wallet to the side, and it's no longer under my leg, creating a pressure point while I'm driving long distance. So I really love that. Also, I'm glad it has some sort of enclosure, so it'd make it a little bit harder to pickpocket the wallet or to have it fall out somewhere. I know, especially carrying my cell phone in my blue jeans, sometimes driving, it would work its way out and fall between the seat and the side of the car, and then it takes forever to dig it back out of there. For the smartphone, usually I just carry it in the front pocket, and it sits down about here, so it's not really a pain to not have this pocket be the size needed for a full-size cell phone. So originally these pants, from what I've heard rumored, started out for mountain climbing, and I can definitely see where they'd be beneficial for that. It has a gusset in the crotch, so you're going to be able to squat, move your legs, whatever you need to do, especially if you're like rock climbing or mountain climbing. I used to climb with shorts, and it would just tear up my lower legs, especially if I was climbing on something like granite where it's got a lot of sharp edges, and I might be using my knee or something to try to get some sort of leverage to make my next climbing move. So I really look forward to trying these out climbing. I haven't taken them out yet. But another feature that they have is back here is a canvas loop, and what's rumored that was for is hanging your carabiners. I only have one right now. I packed the rest of them up, but you can see you could fit quite a bit on there. Although most climbing harnesses nowadays have loops for that. Another rumor that I've heard about this loop right here is that they were originally for sailing, and during sailing you have giant winch handles. Usually they're about this big that you stick in the winch, and that usually is what you use to manipulate the line, which is connected to the sails and under tremendous pressure. So when you're not using that winch handle, you don't want it falling out, getting lost. So you take it out of the winch and you stick it in your pocket, and that's one reason it's so deep. Well, it's still going to stick up your back quite a bit, and this loop here is you shove it through there first, and it kind of traps that handle and keeps it from flopping around and coming out of the pocket, which is a believable, I mean, either one, between the mountain climbing and the carabiners or the winch handle, I could see it going either way. What lends a little bit more credence to the mountain climbing is the name 511 seems to be derived from the climbing scales that are used, like 510, 511, 517 I think is the max now, but basically it tells you how hard the climb is going to be. And I think back in the day 511 used to be the max. It was the hardest you could climb. And then they also have a D-ring loop here, and that's great for if you work somewhere where you need an ID badge. You can hang it on that, or you can hang your keys on there. So that's the Taclite Pro, and as I said, I bought them just to try them out. I was figuring, oh, you know what, I won't like them that much, and I'll return them within a couple days if they're just really horrible. But they're really well made. Every seam on here is double stitched, and then areas where a seam ends, usually they've done what's called bar tacking. So they've stitched across the seam this way, so nothing's going to rip that open and start the seam to unravel. I liked them so much, I determined that I'm probably never going to buy blue jeans again. And these are the original ones I bought. They're in OD green, which works really well if you're like in the Park Service or DNR. I've actually gotten confused with them a few times. And so I also went out, I bought the slate gray ones. I think they're called charcoal. They're pretty dark gray. These are really nice for in the office. They blend in really well with the work environment and what people are wearing around there. I also got a pair of Tundra. And the Tundra in this light probably looks like it's a dark green. On their website it's going to look like a real dark brown, and a lot of times in outside light it looks like that brown color. It's kind of a weird mixture of colors where depending on what lighting you're in, it looks different. And this is what the Coyote Brown looks like. I have another set on order. I think I got those in Tundra as well. And then they also have black, which would work great if you're in law enforcement, and they have a dark navy, which would work great if you're EMS or firefighter. I feel like the charcoal, the dark blue, and the black would be really great for more of a work area where you have a dress code similar to like an office environment. And then they also have a Coyote Brown and khaki color that would fit in really well in that type of environment. It'd be a lot more dressed up than just wearing your normal blue jeans, even if your dress code may allow that. So as I said, I bought two more. Figured I'm never buying blue jeans again, but these were pretty light and I wanted something a bit more tougher. Especially I do quite a bit of welding, and these being a poly blend, if they catch some slag or something, it's just going to melt through them. It might even set them on fire. It's not very good for that type of work. So when I went out, I was looking for something that was 100% cotton, and luckily they still sell their original tactical pant. Luckily they still sell their original tactical pants, which are 100% cotton. This is 8.8 ounces for a yard of fabric. And it's almost identical design. It still has the 7 pockets, it still has the Velcro. It's just heavier. It's not going to be a good set of pants to wear around during the summertime, especially if you have a heat index over 100. But I'm not going to have to worry about this melting or catching on fire when it catches a piece of slag. Not to say it won't catch on fire, it's just more flame retardant. So this is probably not part of a normal pants review, but yesterday while I was welding, I actually set fire to my shirt. As you can see, that's a good amount of damage there. It was burning for a pretty good amount of time before I realized I was on fire. And this portion right here on my original tactical pants was the only damage that occurred from all that burning of the shirt. Just that little slight discoloration there. And usually I'll have slag or something hit my leg, especially down low, and it barely even leaves a mark. Definitely doesn't burn through. So if you want to get something for welding, definitely go with the original tactical pants. The only change between the original tactical and the Taclite Pros, other than material, is the addition of this pocket on the right side. And it's another streamlined pocket. You might be able to stick a 1911 mag in there, but it's probably not going to hold anything that has a double stack. And really what it's for is holding your pocket knife. And that gets your knife off the side, where a lot of times I have trouble with the clip like snagging on something as I'm walking. And it kind of gets it down here where my natural hand position is when I'm just standing there relaxed. So it's real easy to access that knife. And it gets it out of this pocket, which I've noticed when I clip a knife in this pocket, and if I try to like put my car keys in this side, then it's really hard to grab them with the knife occupying that pocket space, and my watch or something else, if I have it on this side, it gets caught on that knife as I'm trying to get to my car keys. So it's just great to have this addition, and I kind of wish that they added it to their original tactical pants. But it's not a big deal not having it. So I did say these were very similar to the military issue. They have 2 layers of fabric over the knees, and on the inside there's actually a slot opening at the top of this, and it creates a pocket, and in there you can slip in a set of internal knee pads in case you do some sort of work where you need that feature. But other than that, the dual layer fabric is going to keep you from wearing that out. And then same thing on the rear right here, and going into the crotch, there's 2 layers of fabric. Keep you from wearing that out. And the crotch is gusseted, so you're going to be able to basically have full range of motion of your legs in any direction you need it. And when you go from standing to kneeling on the range, most importantly for me, you're not going to split your pants in half. That would have been a very embarrassing situation, but luckily I was wearing a pair of snowboarding pants over it because it happened to be about -20 degrees that day while we were out there shooting. So get a pair of these. If you don't like them, return them in a couple days, but you're probably going to end up keeping them. I know I've had people try to convince me like, oh, you need to try Dickies and other stuff, and I'm just kind of like, until these fail me in some way, I really don't see the point in switching to something else and testing it out. It's just more of a hassle. And I've had people that wear these tell me they've had pairs last up to 5-7 years, and some of them are going out, they're crawling around in them, they're cutting down trees, they're doing forestry work, they're possibly going to the range and shooting every day, and 5 years is a long time, especially when in the past year I've probably gone through 8 pair of blue jeans by splitting the crotch open. So I didn't think this was going to be in the video originally, and while I was actually shooting my review on the pants, the carrier came to my door and they had the other set of 511 Tactical Originals that I ordered, and so we're going to have an unboxing of it. This damage right here to the box, that was caused by me ripping off the label so you couldn't see my name or where I live at. I ordered these on Thursday, so they got here in 2 days. I'm kind of surprised they used a box. I was actually expecting a soft pack. So, as you can see, pants come in a plastic bag, protect them. And these are the 511 Tactical Original pants so they're the 8.5 ounce or 8.8 ounce cotton in the Tundra color. And as I said before, in the indoor lighting they usually look pretty green, and outdoors they look fairly dark brown. Here's the D-ring up close that I was describing earlier, and that canvas belt over the back right pocket for your winch handles or carabiners. And here's the pocket for your inside the pant knee pads. So hope you buy them. As I said, the links are in the description below. If they don't work out for you, just get them, try them for a couple days. If they're not comfortable or you don't like something about them, take them back. Thanks for watching.